Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jason with Grow Morristown. We are a backyard garden program in Hamlin County, Tennessee, and we are here to talk about harvest totals, how to track them, log them, tips and tricks, and all that good stuff. Now, harvest totals are important. It is about food on the table. If you were going to measure the success or growth of a garden program, how else would you track it? It's an interesting idea. Anyway, the harvest totals do help answer some important questions about our program, about you, our families, provide valuable information concerning the viability of backyard gardens in our community and local food system. It can be a gauge of how well you're doing. If you're growing 100 pounds of something, but you find out, other people grow 500 pounds of that same thing in the same space, that would be really important information. Maybe you're doing better than you think you are. That's good information too. It helps our funders, understand how we're doing. And the data actually is like a gift to us as we grow and move into the future, seek other funding, come up with other ideas and try to do things. We have a track record. We have the data to prove our track record. We're not asking money from the public or from funders for things that we think we can do. We're asking for things that we know we can do because we've already done it and we've got the proof for it. So it is important, and it's gonna change how you relate to your garden space. It'll make you a better gardener in the end. So here's how we do it. Here's a sample of what our harvest log looks like. This is the thing that we prepare and send out. But you can use anything. You could do this. You could make your own log on notebook paper. It's totally fine. If you have trouble printing this, or you want this log and you have trouble printing it, let me know. I have paper copies, and we'll work that out. Just a reminder: there's dates, deadlines around this. They're all important. They usually coincide with some sort of report that is due for me. And so when I start sending out the notices, I'll send out reminders too, because it's attached to paperwork for me as well. Okay, there's a couple of options on how you weigh stuff. You can weigh in pecks, you can weigh in pounds. Most people, it's a combination of both, pecks and pounds. And then when you're done, I ask that you send in your totals. Pecks are first. Let's talk about this first. 1 peck equals the displacement of 2 gallons of liquid. So imagine a plastic grocery bag with 2 gallon jugs in it. That's a full bag, slam full. So if you are counting in shopping bags, you're actually counting in pecks. Comes in very handy. When it comes to smaller amounts, 1 peck, since 1 peck equals 2 gallons, if you have a 1 gallon bucket and that's your go-to harvest bucket for certain things, you have a basket, it's about a gallon, well, that's going to be half of a peck. Half gallon container, if you fill that full, that's a quarter of a peck. See the pattern? It's always kind of half of whatever you're talking about. If you're talking about a quart, then it's half of a quarter. That's 1/8 of a peck, and a pint is 1/16 of a peck. But it's a good memory trick that whatever volume you're talking about, it's half of that. Larger harvest, oftentimes you're talking about corn or tomatoes, it's gonna take more than a bag. So since 1 peck is 2 gallons, you go on up. Look at a 5 gallon bucket would be the same as, again, it's half. So 2.5 pecks. A bushel basket is the same as 4 pecks. If you had a small wheelbarrow, an average of about 4 cubic feet, that's the same as 30 gallons, which is 15 pecks. But a 7 cubic foot wheelbarrow is the same as 52 gallons or 26 packs. So whatever it is, you have a container, look on the label or try to figure out how many gallons that container is, and the number in pecks is going to be half of that number. So that's how you deal with large harvests. Pounds and ounces, pretty straightforward. There's 16 ounces in a pound, though most scales kind of keep track of that for you. Digital scales are pretty common and inexpensive. Do check for weight limits, though. If it's got a low weight limit on it, it might not be, it's not going to be that useful for larger harvests. Now, melons and pumpkins, the weight varies widely. Pumpkin could be anywhere from 5 to 40 pounds. You're just going to have to do your best. You can develop averages over time. Consult the plant-specific information. Sugar babies are smaller than the crimson sweets, and there is that trick where you weigh yourself and you hold the watermelon, and then you just weigh yourself without the watermelon. You subtract that out, and you're left with just the weight of the watermelon. And over time, you can develop averages and figure it out that way. Here's an example log. I do like your totals. If you want to send me your log, sometimes there's questions or whatever, you send it any way you want. PDF, spreadsheet, note paper, it really doesn't matter. You could do it on note paper, snap a picture and send it in. I think we're all kind of used to doing that now. Thankfully, our smartphones have replaced the scanners. I actually finally got rid of my scanner because the phone is the way to do it. Here's an example I just want to show you here. Here's pecks mixed in with the pounds and ounces. Perfectly acceptable. And then total up your totals. Please don't, I can barely read my own handwriting. I'm sure yours is better than mine, but it might be unfamiliar and difficult for me to read. So if you could total it up legibly or typed, get that back to me. I do report in pecks, so don't worry about converting. Like, you don't have to convert everything into ounces. I know a lot of your stuff is going to come back into ounces, and I will convert into pecks. But if you have pecks, it's a waste of time to convert that to ounces. You're not helping me by doing that. It's not necessary. You can save yourself that time. Gifts and accidents. Keep track of your gifts. We do like to know how much is gifted. It'll be, it's interesting to think of how much food we grow, and we're going to grow a lot of food. What amount of that is going to friends, and family, and neighbors, or whoever, the office place. If tragedy strikes an otherwise viable crop, let's estimate that. And give you credit. If you take something that far down the line and your neighbor mows your garden down, let's talk about it. But like, for example, I just had some cabbage that got stolen out of the garden, and it happens. I garden in a community garden, and that these things happen. I'm going to mark that down as a gift. Marking it down as a gift. I don't know who I gifted, but that is a gift. Again, due dates, deadlines, and that is it. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll start sending out reminders as we get closer to the due dates, and it's getting exciting, y'all. We're getting closer. We're getting there, and I know these totals are going to start coming in, and it's exciting. We'll see what we do another year.